Okay, before I get started, there's something I want to cover with you guys. And I don't know if you're aware of this or not. But when we do our batting, we make batting sandwiches. Okay? Um, the reason that we make the sandwiches is most of our designs and patterns are quilt as you go, which means the front back is done at the same time, makes life a lot easier. And then we put them together. You can see that on the one that's hanging there, the white one with the brown strips. Those are joining strips. And that's how we put them together. We'll talk a little more about that later today. But when I'm getting my quilt sandwich together, do you know there's a right and wrong side to batting?
Oh, I
There is. There is a right side and wrong side. So go ahead and feel this side.
lumpy, bumpy.
It's bumpy, isn't it?
Mhm.
It's lumpy. Now feel this side. Going to be nice and smooth and soft. The bumpy side is the wrong side. You always want that to be facing the back of your quilt. Okay? Just a little tidbit for you. Has nothing to do with ruler quilting. No, just kidding. Okay, our foot. Our foot is designed to work perfectly with the templates. Okay? When this foot is on our machine, the needle goes right into the center, and it's 1/4 of an inch away from the needle all the way around this foot.
Inside or outside?
Outside. Yes, the outside. That's a good question,
Great
Lynn. Nobody has ever asked that question.
I used to work and got off of plumbing and heating in Menards.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome. So when we put it on, we don't just put it on like we put a regular foot on our machine, because this is going to be adjustable height. So for example, if you see the chenille piece that I did right there, that I had to make my foot go much higher because of the thickness of all the layers of fabric.
Oh, okay.
Where the one above it, it could go much lower because it was just a quilt sandwich, 2 pieces of fabric and 1 piece of batting. So yeah, it's neat to know how to adjust that. Before we do that though,
Keep you out of it,
I really should go through what this is. This and this are basically the same things. The only difference is this one you can see through. And my students are always happy when I've got this one on, because otherwise I'm looking for stuff always. I'm like the absent-minded professor. Where'd my scissors go? Where's my pencil? Where's this? Where's that? You know, and sometimes I have it in my hand asking where it went to. So that does happen. So this is the So Steady Clear Advantage glider. They are relatively new. We just got them, what, about a month ago? Yeah. So I'm glad to use that. And it's a cling. It just clings to the top of, and it clings good too, trust me. It just clings to the top, and then when it starts getting dirty, like mine is here, I'll just take it out, wash it with a little dish soap and water, and then I use a skirt hanger and hang it up to dry. And then the sticky comes back. This one is the one I had on before I got the Clear Advantage, and you can see I've got some minor dings and stuff. That's not going to affect the use. It really isn't. Until it gets to the point where this is so chewed up that it's catching the fabric, and I've had that happen, I don't replace it. They last a very long time. There are other brands of sliders out there. I find that they work just as well. The only problem is they're a lot more expensive, and I'm basically a cheap person. Okay, I want my money to go to fabric, not toys. Yeah, not toys. So anyway, that's what I've got here. The So Steady table, of course, is if you have an extension table, it's pretty much a must, because, and you'll see why, because of the way that we're working with this. So back to our foot. I have got a slant shank machine. Okay, there are slant shank, high shank, low shank, medium shank, and a high shank special. That's the one you need.
Oh, come on. Of course I have to have
You
that
need a
one.
high shank special.
Crap.
So right now I just have it sitting here. And what I want is I want this foot to just kiss the top of the fabric, just like this. We don't want it down so low that it's going to make it difficult and snowplow. And you guys all know what snowplowing is. I actually had a class, I had to tell them what happens when a snowplow goes through. But anyway, yeah, if it's up too high, like this, you're going to skip stitches. The stitches won't form. Because what happens is that needle's going to pull that fabric back up and it's going to pop out of there. So I put it down, I hold it with my right hand, and then I'm just going to tighten that down. Unfortunately, with these old machines, what happens a lot is that these screws vibrate loose. So don't tell my husband I have these, okay? I told him.
Are they his?
They're his. Yeah,
Then you better
yeah.
not watch the video.
He doesn't. So now, right now, I can easily move everything, but my foot is actually touching. I can't put anything under there. And that's exactly where we want it. And that's going to be our first task this morning, is setting up our feet on our machines. So then we will come back together over here and we'll talk about getting going on with our feet on. And I should have threaded this before, I wasn't thinking. You want your foot up when you thread your machine because who knows why?
The tension is
That's right. You need to get your thread through those tension discs, and if you don't, it's going to be a mess. Don't ask me how I know that. Okay. This machine threads from the inside out.
Remember that was from I was in 4-H.
Yes.
We had one of
Yeah. And that's, that's where I started sewing. My mom was a 4-H instructor, or 4-H
those. My
leader.
mom, too.
Yeah. And my mom was actually a sewing teacher. She went to Michigan State. And I always tell people, of course it's a joke, but that she told me I wouldn't be able to, she wouldn't teach me to walk until she taught me how to sew.
Oh, yeah.
So I've been doing this my whole life. I only started quilting about 25 years ago, and I have run free motion for the past 15 years, maybe more, and I love it. But when I found the ruler work, it just let me up my game a little bit. So what I'm doing here is what we'll all do when we get our foot on. I'm just testing. I'm testing to make sure my foot's not too low or not too high. And I am also testing my stitch integrity. So it's real important here, I'll let you guys look at that the front and the back look just as good. And remember I said we do most of our projects quilt as you go, so it's really important to have that back looking good as well.